Alright, we're on.
This is episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7 of the Romegonz podcast. This is Marco Westwood Gonzalez. And
This is Ricky Romero coming live from San Diego, California.
oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's live now, but when they're listening to this.
We are alive in San Diego, California.
Yep, that we are.
I'm currently looking for a SD card.
Yeah, so this week will be
avail.
another phone recording. Forgot to put the card back in my car. Wasn't sure we were gonna record today, but here we are.
Here we are.
Let's get
Apologize
started.
for last episode. Last episode we took a quick pause. School is coming back, so we want to make sure we came at that the right way.
Well, then Saturday we had our production. We shot the new Westwood Films comedy short, Join the Gang, which will be out tomorrow, 6 p.m.
That'll be tomorrow,
Well,
February
Friday,
9th.
yeah. I don't know if this will be
6
up tonight.
p.m.
This might be up the same day, actually.
So look forward to that.
Commentary next episode, probably.
Probably leave a comment, subscribe, like to it, share with your friends.
Oh, yeah. The trailer's up. You can check out the trailer right now. It's only a minute long.
Mm-hmm. And so for this episode of the podcast, we want to discuss a current event when it comes to writing and character development. We have our fight night, and we're going to keep today's episode short.
Yeah. If we have time, I have some little production stuff. Maybe this can be separate, but I had this other idea I wanted to run by you. It's nothing too crazy. It's brief.
Yes, all of that and more today on the Romegonz podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So what I was referring to earlier as the development in writing is we've all probably heard already that J.K. Rowling has decided that Dumbledore is gay. And so we just want to talk about that because both of us are writers. We're creative writers. We write characters. And one thing that we both can agree on here is character sexuality should only really come into play if it's necessary to the plot.
Right. Agreed. Or to the character. If there's certain character development that might not necessarily move the plot forward, but it could be very important for some. Like if a character, if someone was in the closet and they found out that they were gay, and that was important to them as a person. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Then that could be something. And that might not necessarily
definitely
move the plot forward. Maybe in some ways. It all depends. It all depends on your story.
Well, any kind of development would develop the plot.
Yeah.
And you are correct that a coming out of the closet scene definitely does move a plot forward, in that a character would have to sort of accept that about themselves first before they can accept the world around them.
Mm-hmm. So I actually have a list here of, let's finish up on the Dumbledore. I had found out because, I don't read much books. I'm not really into the Harry Potter series. Eventually I'd like to go and just watch them all. I just wasn't into them growing up. I wanted to see Fantastic Beasts, just didn't get a chance. But I found
a lot
out.
of fun. I've seen it twice.
Really? I wanted to watch it, yeah. Especially since it was kind of, it's connected, but it's on its own. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to worry about watching 6 movies.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I wanted to go see it in theaters too, but I just didn't get a chance. But anyways, I found out because, they're working on the sequel right now.
Yep.
Where Jude Law has been cast as a young Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that has been going around, they've been asking, hey, since now that J.K. Rowling has made him gay in the books, officially made him gay or whatever, does that mean, are we going to see that in the movie? Is there going to be something depicting that? Are they going to say it? Or are they just going to, we just know, background information about him? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And
so it made us think, me and Ricky here, about, not just movies, but for me personally, first place my mind goes to is movies. Just trying to think about films and how not just homosexual characters, but people of different backgrounds, being Mexican, black, male, female, whatever,
Now, diversity is always tricky. I was just writing about it in a post. Um, one of the trickiest things, I know that we're kind of scattered on our topics, but this jumps to um, how can diversity be measured? An issue is at what point can you stop measuring diversity?
Mm.
So this is a slippery
To
slope.
make it important or not important?
This is a slippery slope argument, but what if there are no green-eyed characters in your super hero show? And so people with green eyes feel excluded. People with green eyes feel like they can't connect to the character.
Okay.
People with green eyes feel like they're not being portrayed properly.
And I think it's also
part of the population. Is that an issue? Is that a non-issue?
It's an interesting point because most people would hear that and be like, they'd be
Yeah,
like, what?
Get the fuck out of
No,
here.
but as opposed to like, I brought up Black Panther when we were talking,
Mhm.
as opposed to like that kind of representation.
Mhm.
Like that's not something that people with that background, whether you're Black American, African American or African, whatever it is, you don't see that kind of representation in say superhero movies. This is the first time really getting that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
This is
they
the
brought out
first
Luke
time.
Cage. I mean, you have Blade.
Yeah.
But this
still.
thing is gonna like probably crack $1 billion. Like that is huge, man. That's
Yeah.
that's really a first. And so when you see that argument, you're like, oh well, fuck people, green eyes. But you're right, because no matter how small that group is, there's a group of everything who at one point or another has been excluded, and they might not even be aware of that. Like, or they might not. It might not even be a conscious thing that they're like, oh, I need to be represented. But then when it happens, they recognize it.
Yeah.
Maybe you get more enjoyment out of something, and you might not even realize it, but it's because you might relate more to a specific character. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's on an unconscious level.
For me personally, I never really connected to characters that looked like me, because I look pretty average. I look kind of like most characters.
I agree. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I was kind of like the chubbier one. So any kind of time there's a fat one on camera, that was me. So I always...
He's just like, fuck this fat boy.
I always connected to the character that made decisions like I would.
Okay.
Like in The Phantom Menace, for example, I always felt that...
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, because he had the green lightsaber. He was voiced by Liam Neeson.
Okay.
He was the one...
Big factor.
He's the one who tried to
But he was also... Have you seen episode 7, Last Jedi?
No.
You haven't seen the new one?
No.
I won't spoil anything, but you've seen the trailers.
They bring back Qui-Gon Jinn?
No.
Oh, okay.
But the idea of Luke being like the Jedi and the Sith doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, a lot of people, hopefully we don't lose listeners because a lot of people hating on that movie for that particular reason because they do that. But I think that's something that Qui-Gon kind of poked at a little bit because he's like, well, why can't we train him?
Oh,
because
true.
The rules say this. No, this kid has power. He has potential, and if we're not the ones to do it, we're gonna lose him. And he might not have said that, but I think that's part of the intention also.
That's interesting.
Being able to maybe not necessarily that Qui-Gon wanted to control him. You know what I'm saying? But behind the scenes, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they want to at least guide him towards the light, as opposed to creating that risk?
It's interesting. I mean, we could really discuss Star Wars lore.
I didn't mean to go into that, but the reason I said that was because maybe that's why you like Qui-Gon and just the decisions he makes because he's not so black and white.
Yeah.
He was a very gray character for being a Jedi Master.
Well, not only that, but you look at him, he wasn't very successful. He failed at the talks. Yeah. He failed at manipulating the traitor.
He failed
at fighting. He failed at fighting. Yeah. He was almost a complete failure. And so I can really relate to that.
Yeah, the one thing he had going was he was Liam Neeson.
He was Liam Neeson. He had
until he wasn't.
Man bun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just that I connected to him. If it really was just a green lightsaber thing and the Liam Neeson, then fuck me. But that's all the representation I need to feel like I can put myself like he's not even Mexican, and I'm like, yeah, this guy represents me because it's the decisions he made, not the person he was, or even the actor that portrayed him. It was the decisions he made.
I can get with that. Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, people of my kin, of the people who I associate with, fuck up constantly, never give up.
Well, that's something that we can relate to more than anything, right? Is fucking failure.
Tenacity.
And having that will to, maybe not having the willpower to power, a damn Green Lantern ring, but enough to be like, yeah, I want to live today. I'm going to go to work.
That's interesting.
Do my homework, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Well, I mean, in our religion it says, even if a vine produces one grape, it's still good to go. It'll still be part of the blood of Christ.
What religion is that?
Catholicism.
Oh, it's not my religion. You said our religion.
Oh, okay. Ours as in mine and Ramsey's.
He's not even here.
Well, you know me, I'm agnostic, but I was raised Catholic. I was confirmed Catholic, so it's kind of like what we're saying. It's not who you are, but the actions that you've involved yourself in.
Right.
And so I've involved myself in so many of these actions. It would almost be a lie to say I'm not Catholic, but in honesty, I am agnostic. But like I said, it's about actions, not about fucking lip service to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it is. That's what I feel like J.K. Rowling shit is, going full circle, is lip service. It's just saying, I was inclusive as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to know, like with any argument, there's always the other side of that maybe we're wrong. She always meant that to be that way. But,
Maybe she wanted to, but she was afraid of the backlash.
Maybe.
It was a different time 10 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, that was back when gay marriage was still illegal. So technically, they were fucking, doing crimes.
Is that what started her out? Was the very first, I don't know the name of the first book, but the very first Harry Potter?
I'm pretty sure she wrote Sorcerer's Stone first thing.
Okay, and that's what jumped her. Yeah, and so maybe you wouldn't want to alienate.
Yeah.
Possibly, you know what I mean? It sounds harsh, but that's...
And her writing style grows as the story grows. So.
Yeah. And as does maybe her ability to kind of look past some of those things, like be like, you know what, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The more you reflect on that, or the older you become, the more time you spend with these characters. But maybe she just...
More than anything, it has to service the plot. If there's no point in the plot, then there's no reason for it. And here's something that my girlfriend brought up that I just want to bring up is we see homosexuality in nature. We see it in ducks and penguins and cats and dogs and cows. Homosexuality is a part of life on Earth. So why? What biological need do they service? Do they fulfill? Well, gay animals can take care of orphan animals, orphaned young. And they don't have to worry about their own young, so they don't have to starve the new one or take care of their own first. They just take care of the young one as if it was their own.
That's pretty interesting. And it's interesting to see how it reflects through human beings as well. And then because obviously man and man or woman and woman aren't going to make a baby. So what are they going to do? Go adopt.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why a Catholic priest is supposed to be celibate, is so then their community is their family. There's no favoritism. I'm going to take care of my kid first and then my church.
That makes sense.
And then my church's kid. No, it's just...
Because oftentimes if you have a family, you're going to go, my family first.
Oh, more than...
And then my church.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking like way back then. Then, you're, what's his name, willing to put your kid up on the rock and sacrifice him. Abraham, yeah.
That's funny.
But maybe not so much anymore.
That's funny. See, that's something that is interesting, is that child death and infancy mortality is at an all-time low. I mean, even though we are at the highest population we've ever been at, um, the chances of you making it to 1 year are higher than they've ever been.
Well, that has to be because of medicine, no?
Medicine, yes. Also, just fucking, people telling you, hey, you can't kill your baby. That's ours now. You have to take care of it.
Well, the more people that live in, cities and, places like this, less likely you are to, be mauled by a panther or something.
Yeah, definitely. Mauling by a panther was a major killer.
But apparently there are coyotes here, so coyotes.
Gay coyotes, I bet. I'm sure there's at least one of them. But we kept going off topic. The point is that homosexuality does serve a purpose in storytelling, but in this case, unfortunately, as far as we can tell, it doesn't.
In a lot of cases. Especially today, because it seems to be, there's this thing where, not just in movies, but I've seen it, myself being a comic reader, seen it in comic books, where they would switch, both DC and Marvel, they would change certain characters, existing characters, either a race swap or make them gay.
Yeah.
You say Luke Cage?
Yeah.
He's always been black, dude.
He was black, dude.
He's always been black, man. You're crazy. That's how he started. He was a black exploitation.
No, I'm sorry. Not the commissioner guy. The guy who was played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
You're thinking
about.
of, Nick Fury. Yeah, he was he's total white bread, man.
Yeah.
He was that stern, that white,
with the brown hair and
military man type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, eye patch. I know.
Yeah.
And then,
I know. Everybody's seen that image from one time or another, even if they didn't know that he was white at one point. They've probably seen that face.
And then
white Nick Fury with eye patch.
Race swap.
But in that case, it's weird because then you're like, how do you decide,
Well,
because sometimes it works like that. Like Samuel Jackson's the greatest Nick Fury.
A race swap is much different than sexuality swap, because a race swap you actually have to change your marker. Or a homosexuality swap, I could say that happened fucking 2 years ago, dude. What have you been reading?
That's true. They did it they made Iceman gay from the X-Men.
Great.
Bobby. They made
Now
But see, I also don't know everything behind it. I didn't read the comic. I don't know how they pulled it off. But
I wanted to bring up is that if it's not necessary to the plot, don't bring it up. Don't write it down. Let the audience decide.
And that's not to say, like, don't make that character gay or white or this or that or woman or man, you know what I mean? It's just that, does it matter to the story or to the character to be like, oh, and he's gay? Unless it's important to the development of the character, it's going to move the plot forward, revolving around the fact that this guy's gay. What does it matter?
Okay.
That's just pretty much expanding on what you just said. But
Exactly. I'm just trying to think of a good example.
I have a list of movies here.
Yeah.
There's Big Daddy, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just pull one off the top of my head. We go back to The Watchmen. And so the Night Owl and Rorschach, it's hinted that they are gay or they were gay. Or
in the book?
It's just, it's
I don't think so in the movie.
Very slightly, in the book.
Yeah.
Very subtle hinting. But number one, it's not necessary to the plot to find out if they're gay or not.
Exactly.
And number two, it kind of, depending on the reader, it changes the story. Like if a reader isn't about to be about that.
Well, some people might read more into it than others.
Mm-hmm. If some people are going through something similar to that, then they'll read into it. They'll fill in the blanks for themselves. Another example is Buzz and Woody. I mean, it's kind of silly, but nothing ever says they're straight or they're gay. In the first movie, Woody is with Lil Bo Peep. In the second movie, he's with Jesse.
In the third.
Yeah,
pretty much.
He's just fucking gay for Buzz.
I see where you're going with it, but me personally, I think it's just a bromance.
Oh, of course, yeah. And
But that's the thing, is that it can be
no-
interpreted.
There's no evidence that supports or denies
Yeah.
either claim. So, because it doesn't matter to the plot.
Exactly.
And he doesn't give a shit if they're banging.
Well, so you have you ever seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? It's a lot better than it sounds. It's Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer plays a character named Gabe Perry.
Great.
He's a detective. But he's a great character, and maybe it works because it's a comedy, you know? There are jokes. It's not like they bring it up all the time, but there are like some good jokes that are based off of that, being the character being gay. That sometimes he makes himself.
William Dafoe in what is that movie about the two guys that kill people? Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
He plays a good gay character.
Okay, now when you brought up Buzz and Woody.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I rewatched Boondock Saints not that long ago?
Okay.
Did I tell you?
No.
Like maybe it had to be a couple months ago because Cheeks was still here. I showed it to Lily, and man, I didn't realize like just how gay that movie is.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
And I'm not talking about anything with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Obviously, his character's gay,
No,
and I love what they did with his character. The brothers, man, are super gay.
Yeah, like, fuck me in the ass.
Well, not even that, but like, there's all this. It's so weird to me because I really believe that the director wasn't aware of this in a movie where Willem Dafoe plays like a very openly gay character. I still feel like the director wasn't aware that all the stuff with the brothers where it's supposed to be cool comes off really gay.
Oh, that's funny.
To me, like when they're in the bed and there's these shots and they're just in jeans and shirtless, bed by bed, and then like the water drips on them. That's like when they have the vision or whatever that they have to kill mobsters and they're like holding their crucifixes and they're looking at each other and then they're like, what the fuck?
No, it's a very fine line between gay and
and they're brothers.
Well, here's a big question that a lot of people have a lot of different answers for.
I don't know how he missed it when that movie has Willem Dafoe's character.
Here's a question: can two straight dudes have sex with each other and still be straight? Every person has their own answer.
Well, it can be. Well, I mean, if there's actual attraction, they would either be gay, bisexual, or experimentation.
So you're saying there's no way that they would have to... that they're not straight anymore?
No, they could still be straight.
Okay.
But obviously, if they're into it...
Well, obviously.
Well, then you're like, dudes, you're gay or you're bisexual.
Yeah.
Come on, like, let's not make this too complicated. But if it happened and they're like, how about we never again? Well, they're probably still straight. Like, people experiment.
Well, it gets really complicated. Like, what if you're watching a porno? But anyways, but you can say it's muddled. You're not saying
that's a good point too. Like you start looking at the dude, you're like, wait, what am I doing?
But what I'm trying to say is you're saying that it's not black and white. That there is some lean.
To a certain extent.
I
mean, if you're taking a butt all the time, like you might be or bisexual if you're still with women.
Yeah, you definitely want to check into that title though. Straight,
if it matters to you, if it matters.
But I just want our audience to understand that we have a very, we're progressive about the movement, and we don't want to offend or put down anybody or make it seem like you don't belong in movies. Mm-hmm. We're dummies. We don't know what we're talking about, but
that's true.
You were bringing it up when we were talking about this, planning the podcast, is you don't ever start off your character development with he was straight as an arrow, or this father was very straight.
And you don't say it either.
Secretly straight, but
characters don't just blurt that out in movies. Like, look at me, I'm the straight guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're making me do this because I'm the straight guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the straight guy, so I have to talk like this and dress like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just, to the argument, it's just the way that our culture is. We just assume that we're dealing with a straight man, and then
unless explicitly told that they're not.
Now that might not be any fault of our own. That's just that could be an Assassin's Creed, like millions of memories of just dealing with the straight dudes over the course of like human history. So he usually has dealt with a straight dude in general. But who knows? It could be prejudices that we all hold in our hearts because we all have them, unfortunately.
Mm.
Or it could be the mirror.
Deadpool's on the list?
The mirror effect, that I just assume that I'm talking to myself. It's just a different form of myself. Especially when I'm reading, I just think that everyone looks like me.
I find it really hard when I'm reading. That's why I don't read a lot except for comics. Because you have the characters there, you know what they look like.
Yeah.
And I can pull voices like Batman, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill for the Joker. You know what I mean? Things like that. But with like a book, it can be really hard for me to sit there and keep going because I'm like, I guess I'm not imaginative enough when it comes to that. Because for some reason it just kind of creates this roadblock where I'm like...
That's interesting.
You know?
I kind of get it when a character is being described, but it's kind of blurry to me. And their face kind of moves and muddles and kind of... It either look like me or it'll look like a celebrity or... You know, but I still like this character has a big nose, so that's just big nose character.
It's just you with a big nose.
Yeah, right. Squidward.
That'd be a great comedy short. Like you're just reading and you just seen all the characters as you, but wearing whatever they wear, whatever they look like. You know, the nose or.
It's funny, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if most fucking readers are just so narcissistic that they just like thinking that they're doing all of this.
You know, I never heard that until you told me, and it's not because you're so narcissistic, but I just never thought about it before. But I think you're probably onto something. I mean, there's probably a good majority of people that do the same.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't actually, like I said.
Well, okay, so...
What you mean. You might not have an actual... Maybe you start putting faces in, you know, but...
I'm going to go ahead with, I think it's Stephanie Meyer wrote the Twilight books. The main character is, like, described maybe, like, twice. Because it's supposed to be a fill-in. The reader is supposed to just, you know, that's me. I'm having sex with Edward. I'm being chased by Jacob. You know, it's just they don't describe the person at all, so you can just, oh, it's me.
Which if you know your audience, I guess it's pretty smart.
Yeah. And then the 50 Shades did the exact same thing. So you just you gotta know your audience. But in those situations, it was assumed that the main character is straight female. And then, and I'm pretty sure Twilight is supposed to be a super white girl, like it's pale white, you know, white as snow, flaky white.
She's pretty pale.
I mean, no, but not in the movie. I mean, in the book, there's this described as being extremely
more pale than her.
Yeah, I mean it's a book, and the book does have.
She's pretty pasty.
I mean, that book has some representation issues.
Twilight.
If one now that I think about it, how many gay dudes or. I mean, I only saw the one movie in high school.
You're saying that they do have a lot of diverse characters, or they don't?
I mean, they have the Native Americans and the whites, and I think there was a black vampire at the end. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to gay, when it comes to
maybe there probably is like one. Maybe.
Yeah, but we're talking about, you know, diversity, acceptance, opportunity.
Not the movies for that, I think.
We all know that there is a selectivism to it. I mean, nobody's looking at Titanic like, oh, that's so diverse. Everyone loves it, though.
Yeah.
And you can't say, oh, well, historically, the Titanic would consist of, fuck you, you weren't there.
They're all white.
It could have been black as hell, you don't know. They could have been half Italians. You have no fucking idea. The only lady who ever survived that ship was some old dumb bitch who couldn't even keep a hold of a goddamn jewel the size of a baby's brain.
Yeah, so the only prejudice we have is against old ladies.
I mean, I do have... Everyone has an age prejudice. That's just something that's never going away. That's something that never goes away.
So what's yours?
Anybody that fights for child's rights gives up when they stop being a child. Because it doesn't matter and it never will.
What about if you're a parent?
I mean,
maybe.
Then you're fighting for parents' rights to get some sleep.
You might be onto something.
But
you never saw Moonlight, huh?
No.
Really good movie. It's not in your face. It's like for me it's up there with what's the other one? Heath Ledger.
Oh, Brokeback.
Brokeback.
Okay.
It's a really well done representation of characters who. It's important, that they're gay, but it's not catering. Like these characters are struggling with being gay, and that's like the main struggle of the film. And that's interesting because that's always the most interesting thing I feel is when you have characters with a struggle with an internal conflict, right?
Now
Whether it's struggling with being gay or whatever it is.
That's interesting because I heard somebody say that, when being gay started being bad, then the feeling of being gay, of being happy and kind of sexual, went away as well. And it's kind of related to that when being gay became synonymous with being prejudiced or being attacked, then that feeling definitely went away. Because you just said it, being gay is almost synonymous with a struggle nowadays.
Yeah.
For the past, back in the Greek times, it was seen as something glorious, something that you wish you had, something that you couldn't get enough of.
It almost feels like it started and stopped in that time, and then everything after that was just like it was a no-no.
Yeah, there's a big old area.
A huge gap. Yeah, but I wonder if I don't think they saw it that way.
No, they definitely didn't realize what they were doing when they were like, "Hey, I don't like it when gay dudes fuck me in the ass, so I want to make it illegal for everyone to get fucked in the ass." I mean, because you think about it, we don't really think about it, but back then it was happening all the time. Like, boys were being kidnapped, and in almost every Greek city-state. I'm pretty sure it was every Greek city-state. And each city-state had their own rules about it. Like in some states, you could just straight up just snatch a kid and kidnap them. But in Sparta, you couldn't actually have sex with the little boy. You could only have sex to procreate. So you could have a young boy or squire, but you could only really teach them to fight and shit and how to be a man. You can't actually fuck them. But in the other city-states, you would teach them and you would fuck them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and this is just Greek. I mean, you go to the east and you're looking at the lady boys. That's been going on forever and ever.
You're right, yeah.
You look at Iraq and you have the party boys. I forgot what they're called, but again, they're chained to the bed. It's a form of slavery and torture. So this kind of plays into that rule. Is that back then everyone got fucked in the ass when they were a kid. And so at one point they were just like, I didn't like that.
Like, you know what?
I didn't like that, so nobody likes it.
Well,
it was a pope or something.
No more peepees in the bunghole.
Yeah. And then the weird thing is the Catholic Church continued that practice.
I was gonna say it's funny you said it was the Pope or something.
Yeah.
And then everyone under him is just over here.
Well, really, then it became it's oh well, you can't do it.
It's a weird perversion, man.
But it's sad.
And then a lot of those people don't see themselves as gay.
It's sad that that's where it is. But literature doesn't have to.
That looks like it's getting butt fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just related.
Literature and writing and stories don't have to propagate that belief. They don't have to push it forward. That being gay meant you were a victim or a radical. That, that being gay is not a choice. But in the sense of writing a character, it is a choice. the author has a choice to make a character straight or gay.
Yeah.
The author has a choice to make this character fuck rocks and produce babies.
Everything
it really
that
doesn't
happens
matter.
in that story, it all comes from you. You have the power until, someone else changes it. But
and so I can appreciate how J.K. Rowling would want to normalize a gay person. Like, Dumbledore, that guy was a fact the whole time.
And because he's...
And, you didn't know.
He's so important.
Yeah, he is important. So that is... I can see the good intentions, but it's just poorly executed. That she didn't make that decision. She didn't actively make that decision during the time. Mm-hmm. It's being hypocritical to pull a switch like that.
I can see that.
Just like if a character was fucking dudes for 5 seasons, and then in season 6, now they're straight and married with kids and happy. You can be like, wait, that's a hypocritical thing to do.
Well, not unless he was hiding.
But with no struggle, they were just a happy gay person, and now they're a happy straight person. Technically, the writers have that opportunity, but you as the audience member would feel cheated.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, yeah, if they didn't go into it.
Technically, but then the writer could say, well, you don't know this character. They could be bi.
Oh, yeah.
But after
they could have been all along.
But why? Or it was a dream. Or they're experimenting. Or, mind swap. Oh, they got hit in the head, concussion.
Mind swap. Just like
any
Jason
kind of bullshit
Bourne
like that.
Jason Bourne of gay people.
That's almost more lazy than just throwing in a gay character.
Is retroactively making them gay, you say?
Yeah, or using some stupid plot device to make them gay.
Or anything.
Like...
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I don't know, I would... Now, like I said, we don't really feel like we're underrepresented.
Yeah.
We don't really subscribe to any subgroups. I mean, I throw this one around sometimes, bipolar, because whenever... I made this joke the other day. Anytime you read bipolar in the news, it's violence or drugs. So it's like we don't get a lot of representation. We got a little bit in 2012 to 2015 when we got our 15 minutes, and then that was right out.
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think it turned into into what we're talking about. It turned into rights for people who are claiming
for
claiming
disabilities and stuff.
Not disabilities, but are claiming grouping, claiming tribe, claiming kin.
I just like to read a news article one day. Bipolar kid has extremely great day. The next day, not so good.
Extremely great day included. He got out of bed.
No, he's just like has an up and down week.
That got him. We got Silver Lining.
Yeah. Silver Lining Playboy. That's I think that's a pretty. Would you say it's a pretty good representation?
One.
Silver Lining.
It's one.
It's one.
It's one good representation. Yes.
Oh no, I didn't mean. That's enough.
That's it.
No, I meant I'm just asking about that movie. If you felt it had pretty good representation with those two characters.
We're switching, but and then that movie did that have gay characters?
I don't think so. I mean, look, I know it's not sexuality, but all these things, sexuality, race,
disability is. I feel like disability is
all that, man. It's all.
I hate to say it, but I feel like disability is bigger.
I'm talking about creating characters,
I feel like disability is bigger because you could have a gay black character be disabled at the same time, right?
What do you mean bigger? Bigger in what way?
It's that it's overarching.
As far as like a challenge or struggle?
No, not that. I'm not saying that the struggles can be compared because they're different. But I'm saying that, you can find mental conditions in every subgroup.
Huh.
And even groups.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Almost like
there's just a huge... You could be a damn, schizophrenic so-and-so and whatever. And then if Well, even with sexuality, that's starting to like. There's a lot of
Um,
subgroups in that as well now.
well, there's
That's gonna
this
get
funny thing I read on the internet.
complicated.
In English, you have to do adjectives in a specific order. I forget the order, but it's like size and grouping and color. Like you can't have large orange 7 dragons, but you can have 7 or large orange dragons.
Hmm.
So you have to say those adjectives in a specific order. And I feel that that's what I'm trying to say is what bipolar is like the first one, or like just mental condition. Are you normal or are you unnormal? Is the first one, and then okay, next are you like what you got down there? Okay, next, okay,
Because that is going to affect.
what's your pigment?
That can potentially affect every single thing about that character.
Potentially,
disorder or whatnot.
I would even say, I would definitely say that mental condition affects your. I mean, it doesn't actually affect your skin color, but it affects how you perceive your skin color and how you would allow that to affect your actions and your decisions.
Hmm.
But I can see the argument. Please, listeners, if you want to argue, please leave the comments below. Please tell us where we missed the mark on this. But
sure, and there's so much, there's so much to argue about, whether it's all any of those things, disabilities or sexuality or race, any of that. So it's impossible to get all of it in one podcast,
Yeah.
and without. We're kind of just spitballing all this, just personal.
And not only that, but I'll go back to saying, like, if you retcon a character to be gay, people be like, whatever, okay. If you retcon a character to be Asian, it's kind of like, what? Okay. But if you retcon a character to be schizophrenic, they're like, all right, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Are you stupid?
That would.
Do you know what schizophrenia is?
You know what? I think that's the next. That's the next like retcon that should happen. It's just like all of a sudden, fucking Wonder Woman is.
The next season of Walking Dead, the dude bonked his head and now he's anorexic. Bitch. What?
I think they should do it.
It's not how it works,
dude. They're over here swapping characters, making them white to black, whitewashing characters. Like, yeah, the next step is just to be like, or making them gay. Just be like, yeah, now he's fucking.
Now he thinks he's an amputee.
Now he.
What?
Now he's a gay black autistic.
Now he eats mattress furniture.
3 layers, play.
That's not even a disability, but that's Pika. So we just eat bullshit. But yeah, I mean that'd be funny. It's funny.
Well, that kind of brings me. Let's see where we're at on the. So we're at the 43-minute mark. I wanted to spitball the idea to you because it very directly relates.
Oh, well, let's just spend 5 minutes talking about characters that did it well, just so
we yeah. So we can wrap it up. Yeah. I saw Deadpool on the list.
Well, I guess it's just a bisexual character.
Yeah, because he's just. I can see that because he's just kind of fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Dude's so fucking crazy all over the place.
So a good.
He'd probably stick anything up his butt.
Quality LGBTQ characters from my own memory. I'm gonna say Ren and Stimpy. I know people will argue that, but I felt like they're just goofy and gay. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of. And then they're weird, so it's kind of normalizing it for me.
All right. I'm gonna toot our own horn here. Actually, it really goes to our friend Brandon, constant collaborator, because he, made this joke and it just turned out really well, and it informed something later on in the new. I'm talking about our new comedy, short film, Join the Gang, that releases February 9th, 6 p.m., where Brandon makes this joke. Remember, well, my husband's gonna.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But we never once brought. I mean, we didn't bring anything up because we didn't know the character was gay.
That was hilarious. That was so off the cusp.
And yeah, and how would you how does that hit you? Because he just kind of made a joke, and then the character became gay. Because I went with that. take, you know.
So how do I? Well, obviously, I feel like it's a comedy short, so it is a left turn, so it's a good punch. You know, it's a good punchline.
But I think what sells it is the fact that he's someone who's supposed to be so full of hate.
Yeah.
Right, towards.
So he is a contradiction, a paradox, but at the same time,
and I think that's why it's funny and it works.
Technically, he could exist, and that's what people really laugh at, is that this isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Well, I was thinking about it on the way here. I'm like, you know.
Yeah, there are gay Nazis.
I mean, a lot of those dudes.
There are gay Nazis.
They remind me of people in the army. I know that's a weird comparison. Not comparing them as being Nazis, but just not considering themselves as gay, but doing really gay things to each other. You know, as men often do, young men.
No, I know it.
It's a weird, line that
I have a clip that perfectly exemplifies that.
The gay Nazis.
Yeah,
Nazis being.
It was a VR, and it was just all these soldiers just beating each other off. Like there's a war zone going around, and in this VR, everyone's like.
Dude, I see that kind of shit all the time when I was, especially in basic training and all that. Like, but
anyways,
Cheeks is getting, he's getting his own load of that. But why did I?
So Eliza Thornberry is I would say that she was a good LGBT.
The sister.
No, the one who could talk to animals. I mean, both of them were.
No, she was the main character.
Yeah.
I don't know who I was thinking of. Yeah,
Debbie, I think, is the older sister. I think she was straight because she would hang out with dudes.
Yeah, she seemed like the 16-year-old chick that was always
Eliza
going
and
out.
her mom, they both. I mean, even though she was with Nigel, but that doesn't mean anything.
Because Nigel might be gay.
Yeah, Nigel was kind of out there, but that had some good representation. I think Chucky and Tommy from Rugrats. I mean, that's a line.
I mean, they're babies.
They don't ever fucking... Yeah, but people say that they developed their homosexuality and noticed something, like, even really young. Like, they noticed that something was different. But, I'm just saying that these are the kind of characters I grew up with that made me think, if these characters could be gay. And if they were, that's okay. Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, she's his henchwoman, but isn't she the wife?
We're talking about the girl from Austin Powers.
Isn't she the
wife?
She's his wife, right?
It's like
Dr. Evil's wife.
Yeah, something like that.
That's Scotty's. That's Scotty's mom.
Yeah.
Maybe bisexual.
I'm not sure, but there wasn't any evidence. I mean, maybe
either. Yeah.
Maybe it's mentioned, but still, she doesn't actually touch a woman. I don't think she.
I'm not sure what that's about. That's
maybe
weird.
She touched one of Austin Powers' chicks, when she was strapping her into a death thing.
Yeah, if we have anyone that's listening, and you can tell us if Frau Farbissina from Austin Powers.
What's this source? Wikipedia? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I am on Wikipedia, so please bear with me here. But I'm just curious who they have listed. Of course, they have Dumbledore.
I mean, what was the character that was
all the movies, by the way,
actually gay? Legit gay.
We already went over Willem Dafoe's character. There was another one Dog Day Afternoon. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Very good movie. It's with Al Pacino.
It's funny that there's no Disney movies with gay people. There's so many gay people that love
there's
Disney
now.
movies.
Speaking of retcons, because they...
who would they
we were talking about it, remember? The other day. The live action Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, that's
they
right.
They changed...
okay, one.
The character.
Toy Story, no gays. Winnie the Pooh, no gays.
Well, Toy Story is interesting.
Aladdin, 0 gays.
Because Aladdin...
Finding Nemo, 0 gays.
You also have to think
maybe
about...
Dory, but
Aladdin thinking about the culture.
Okay,
Aladdin's even less accepting.
Aladdin's different.
Over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that kind of thing. Not that there aren't people like that exist.
And at the same time, I heard that Aladdin had to go through a shit ton of rewrites. It was a disaster.
Really?
Yeah, I just heard about
just trying to find, make it, inoffensive, basically? Is that it?
And that Robin Williams was just a nightmare to work with.
Why?
It's fucking Robin Williams. You know him.
I don't.
Well, you missed your chance because he killed himself.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. I didn't
You
get to
really
know.
needed to go out to the comedy clubs when you were 12.
Yeah, but why was it difficult? Like, would he just
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't
improvise
there either.
too much and
I
stuff?
would imagine.
But Dog Day Afternoon, it's a really good movie, man. And you find out that basically, it was made directed by this
Oh,
director.
but just to finish my point, it's funny that so many gay people love Disney, love it. It's their entirety.
Is that
Yet zero representation, almost 1% representation.
Is that I like to see your statistics on that. Your poll results.
A lot of gays.
Yeah.
Fact. A lot of gays love
Bears.
Disney.
Bears eat beets.
Fact. Tons. Literal cubic tons of homosexuals
So
express deep passion.
If you haven't seen 1975's Dog Day Afternoon, directed by Sidney Lumet, really great director, man. You gotta get on that. Serpico, same director. He makes a lot of political dramas and stuff. But Dog Day Afternoon is about these two guys. One of them is John Cazale, who's the brother of Fredo. Fredo from the Godfather movies. Hey.
Uh-huh.
He plays the buddy. And they go and they rob this bank, right?
Uh-huh.
And Al Pacino's character, you find out that he's doing it because he needs money for his boyfriend's sex operation. And this came out in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you were listening, maybe you would have had a different reaction.
He was robbing banks to pay for his gay operation?
For his boyfriend's sex change operation. And this was in 1975. You know what I'm saying? And they're there making all these demands, and so it's being televised, in the movie, like how a big bank robbery would go. And at the time, it's just like, think about it, all these people are like, huh? They're like, what? But somehow he still manages to get people behind him, because then they bring up Attica and all that, and because of police brutality. And it's a really, really good movie. It's a really interesting story. But that's something where it ends up mattering to the plot, to the character, one of the characters. But you don't know for a very long time in the movie. And then you see that you find out that he's married still. I believe he was still married. But yeah, he had a wife or an ex-wife. So that's an interesting one. I'm not sure. You have any other ones off the top of your head?
Oh, well, Big Duh. I'll fucking Let It Go.
Who?
The Let It Go song.
The Snowman?
Yeah.
You think he's gay? I think he's just...
Dude, everyone in that movie's gay!
I think he's just an idiot. I mean, I don't know if that's...
Dude, the dude fucks the moose. It's even saying bestiality's okay.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
You don't agree that dude's fucking that moose in the
No, there's no
with
evidence.
His 3D penis.
There's no evidence. Okay.
3D animated,
there's
perfectly light. You know how they got the light to bounce off the snow?
Yeah.
They did that with his cum.
It's gross. There's nothing to say that he's not doing that, but there's also nothing that says he is.
There's the song.
Okay.
He says something about "I'm gonna fuck you later" to the moose.
Facts.
Facts. He wrote it down.
Oh, so this is why there's a huge gay following behind Disney. Is that why? Because he's gay towards his moose.
Well, no.
You heard it here first from Ricky Romero.
I'm reading in this. Actually, there's this article from The Atlantic that's saying that Walt Disney would fuck a moose in the ass. No, it's saying that there's. It was saying The Atlantic is saying that there's pro-gay messages in every single Disney movie since like the 90s.
Well, there's not anti-gay, so maybe that's why it's pro-gay.
Well, that's two different things. But you look at The Little Mermaid.
No, I think it's... I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I think it's kind of like, oh, hey, well, we don't not like these people, so we're okay.
I see what you're saying.
But obviously, there's more to it if you're actually inclusive.
You make sense though, because before then, I mean,
that's how it was before. If you didn't hate on them, we just,
That's true. Just let them be.
Yeah.
The way that stories were like 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, where they would shit on everybody who wasn't a white dude because white dudes were the only people that could read.
Okay.
So it's kind of like knowing your audience. So yeah, so to your point, things are different now, you know, and so obviously, yeah, the exact opposite of shitting on somebody would be just to let them go.
Oh, I thought you did that on purpose.
Oh, let it go.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I'm not saying anything else from what I know. Characters from movies that I don't remember, like in Magnolia or.
I mean, just in your
I can't think of anything off the top
in
of my
your
head.
life, you know, what kind of characters did you think of that were gay?
That weren't explicitly like how you said Ren and
To
Stimpy.
you, to you specifically, like your own definition of gay, whatever that is.
Oh well, for me, one of my favorite characters ever, John Constantine, or it's actually pronounced Constantine in the comic books, but John Constantine, he's bisexual, and the majority of the comics that he came out in would do a really good job of portraying that. And more often than not, he was with women than men. But there were times, stories here and there, where like, oh, he's climbing out of bed with a dude, you know. And this is the late '80s and the '90s, when his long-running series was going on under the Vertigo imprint of DC Comics, the Hellblazer comics, and it was never explicitly said, you know. And to me, that's how I think of like, oh, that's how I would want to do my characters if they were gay or bisexual or whatever, you know. Just show it, you know. And even then, when you say show it, I mean, you don't want to show things
the
that
gay sex.
no, you don't want to show things that aren't necessary to the movie, right? Because those are the things that normally get cut. Or you watch a movie and you go, oh, that should have been cut. So I'm not saying you have to show, but like let's say I mean, he's a con man at his heart. He has abilities basically, but he's a con man. He uses that above everything else. He doesn't really like to use his dark arts and shit. He likes to con people. And you see him con people, you know, whether it's he has to sleep with some dude to like, you know, we're basically seducing him to get to whatever. That'll happen. And no, you don't get to see the gay butt sex, okay? Because that's what he's staring at me, waiting for.
Well, I'm out.
But you don't see him having sex with women either.
But that is funny that like
actually, it's not true.
In writing, you're supposed to show it, not say it. So, I mean, really, if a story writer is going all in on a homosexual character,
then we say
you don't want anybody saying bullshit.
Full penetration.
You have to actually, oh, this person is gay. They are in the act of homosexual sex and they are enjoying it, and they will continue to do this in the future. Yeah, that's pretty gay.
I don't know these two characters, V for Vendetta.
That's hilarious.
Rich.
V? The girl or the guy?
Valerie Page. And
the girl.
Is that the girl?
Yeah.
And Gordon Dietrich.
I think that's the dude that helps her. Not the V dude. But the other guy that helps.
But she's good?
I guess so. I mean, I never noticed. The cops tried to rape her. Maybe in the comic book.
Well, this lists the movie, but you never know. I mean, it could be kind of cheating in that way.
If you can watch it and like, oh, here's my homosexual sister, then you know that's all you. That's just how you see gay girls. Yeah. Is they have to have their heads shaven and they can't be having any kind of boyfriends.
I don't know that. Let me see if I can think of any other characters. Well, I mean, the big one I said was the Boondock Saints. Those brothers, like, they might as well be butt fucking. And, like, holding each other's crucifixes.
Well, you know, like, that's incest. We're kind of talking about that. That's just a taboo that's never going away. That's just been from day one.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. But to answer your so this is something that's way off is bestiality. We don't have any bestiality representation, and that's another taboo. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
I wasn't sure where you were going.
The reindeer song is reindeers are better than people. At what? Taking cock.
What about giving it?
Or
Why does
giving
he have
it.
to take it? Why can't he be
Hey,
giving
these-
it to whatever his name
You're
is?
telling me that this reindeer's got a throbbing dick? No, this is a little baby dick reindeer.
What? That's a big ass reindeer. That's a big dude.
You can't judge
That's
a
a big-
reindeer's wiener by its size, okay?
I mean, look.
If
If I'm being honest, I mean most large animals just have big dicks. Like they're not like people. Where
Well, they do have dick bones. Humans lost their dick bone millions of years ago.
Animals have dick bones.
Narwhals have dick bones. Elephants, I'm pretty sure, have dick bones.
Horses don't.
Maybe it depends on the animal. I know that humans used to have dick bones.
We're
but
not
we
animal
lost
dick
them.
experts, by the way.
Yeah, let it be known that I've studied animal dicks for a total of, I want to say like maybe not even a day.
It was just a very, very curious moment in his life.
A very curious day. But this is the line that
He's like,
everyone's
"Do I-
like,
do I
oh, this
like
dude's
dudes?
fucking the reindeer.
Do I
He's
like
like,
watching dudes? Do I like watching horses?
he says,
Reindeers.
reindeer, but people smell better than reindeer. Sven, don't you think I'm right? That's once again true. For all except you. You got me. Let's call it a night.
What's the last line?
Good night. Don't let the frostbite bite.
Oh, okay.
So besides piece of shit ending to a goddamn dumbass lyric, we have a dude fucking reindeers, and everyone's like, "Hey, good job, but stay away from the princess."
Did you see Skyfall?
No.
Dude, it's a really good movie. So you're not into James Bond then? It's the
I watched that latest one with the largest explosion ever. The one where he got his brain drilled out.
is it the most recent one with
Yeah.
with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah,
As
but
Blofeld?
that part was silly.
The-
But after he got his brain drilled out, then I started to get into. Well, spoilers. He gets his brain drilled out.
well, Skyfall was one before. It was really quick. It was the one where
Yeah, it was a
no
casino.
country, no, not Casino Royale.
Oh my god.
It's the third
How many
one.
of these fucking movies are
Okay,
there?
there's like 26, dude. Or they're going on 26. No, with that actor Daniel Craig, there's 4. There's Casino Royale. That's Mads Mikkelsen where he's bleeding from his eye. He's fucking great in that movie. The second one's alright, Quantum Solace. Skyfall has the villain from No Country for Old Men.
Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar. Or I like to say Sugar.
Well, yeah.
He plays the villain, but I don't remember there being any indication of him being gay or bisexual.
I mean,
All that just to say that.
you just have to really draw and stretch, I guess.
I guess.
Sugar's character, I wish they would have showed who he was. I mean, for a long ass time, I was confused as to why he was chasing them. It was only until I realized that Woody Harrelson is talking to him about him being a cartel leader in The Office. And that was like maybe the 5th or 7th time I watched the movie that I realized that.
He was hired, if I remember. He was hired to get the money by someone else.
I thought he was the head. He was the guy who made the drugs.
No.
Oh well, there you go.
He wasn't involved. He wasn't like an actual cartel member or anything. He was just like a hired, like an assassin basically.
Oh, what do they call him?
And so he, that's a pretty complex character who, yeah, they don't provide a lot, but I don't know, the way he's portrayed, there's
He could be
definitely something very mysterious about him.
He could be gay,
Yeah, maybe.
especially when he's choking out the cop in the beginning. He was really excited to be that close to a dude. I mean, that kind of shit. I mean, like, we saw the Dahmer or movie, and so that kind of shit.
We didn't finish that, huh? Was that with
I know how
Jeremy?
it ends. He dies. He gets
he kills
caught
a bunch
and
of
dies.
people and fucks them, and then Jeremy Renner, yeah, right, Hawkeye. Yeah,
Who was Pogo the Clown? Gacy. That guy was gay.
John Gacy.
That guy is gay as a motherfucker. And well, that's a whole different kind of gay that, if you portrayed that in a movie, people be like, oh, have you ever met a gay dude?
Blue Velvet.
I was like, no, and I don't want to. I mean, that's kind of weird, but that's
American
kinda funny.
Psycho.
Who was gay in it?
Oh, okay, the
Oh, yeah.
the one that's like he's
about
like,
to get
oh,
choked.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gay. Yeah.
I was just watching...
And that day, you never knew he was gay until that moment.
Who? Oh.
That character.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's a job well done, right?
That was a good one.
Because it was good for the moment, and you were just like it kind of destroyed the tension for him because then it was unexpected to him. He was just like just like the scene we were talking about in our film, Join the Gang. It was unexpected to Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale's character in American Psycho, because he's just like.
One thing about American Psycho, I was watching Wisecrack, and they brought up a good point that I didn't understand the ending of the movie. I only understand the figurative version, but not how it could actually work. You know, when he wakes up and the apartment is all clean. And they made the statement that so either Patrick imagined the whole thing happening,
right,
or that he lives in a neighborhood that's so cutthroat and fucked up that they would hide bodies just to sell.
Just to keep their image.
Just to sell an apartment. Just to make money. Oh, and the image.
And you know, that doesn't even sound far-fetched because that's kind of what the movie's about.
Yeah, well, it's about the $1 million...
Well, these yuppies, you know, these rich...
Murder Boy Club.
Yeah.
The Millionaire Murder Boy Club.
So to me, that doesn't even sound far-fetched at all. Like,
yeah.
That's a very real possibility.
But I never made that connection.
And that's more fucked up than him.
I always thought that they were angels and that he just he was in hell now. Because from that moment on, he was just in pain.
Well, personal hell.
Yeah, well, hell is something you carry around with you. It is wherever God is in it.
Right. Yeah, right. It's the non-existence of God, yeah. That's really interesting because if you go with that theory, that's like everyone around him is possibly more fucked up than him.
Yes.
And it's just that he was just the guy that cracked and couldn't take it anymore.
Yes.
And unraveled.
Yes.
And he couldn't hold on to all that anymore. He couldn't be like everyone else around him.
Yes.
That's crazy. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
That's a really
that's
cool.
Why I love Cinema Sins. Or not Cinema Sins. Fuck Cinema Sins. That's why I love Wisecrack. Because they're really...
I'll check them out.
They really do due diligence. Yeah. They're really good. They make some quality products. Shout out to Wisecrack. I love Jared.
He loves like in a homosexual way.
Yeah, no. I love the ghetto. I forgot his name, but
What about Chasing Amy?
Chasing Amy.
You think it's a good movie about sexuality? I always liked it. Do you think it's too on the nose? Looking back at it.
Well, you have to. First of all, you have to be a fan of Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
So, like, if you watched Clerks or Mallrats and you were bored, then stay away. Is it a real representation? For the most part, from what I can tell of New Jersey lesbians, it seems so. It's a very, very tricky subject. I feel like he was brave enough to actually go for it. You know, not a lot of
definitely
director, writers, screenplay, and actors would go for that. They would stick to something easy. And something that I can respect Kevin Smith for is in so many of these scenarios, you have the directors playing roles of like a dude with a big cock, like Tarantino or Shyamalan. You know, they usually play a character who's like, like I got this, and then they get fucked. But Kevin Smith always plays like a small cock character, so I can appreciate that kind of humility.
I think because he relates. I mean, you know, because whenever I listen to him talk and watch him and stuff, he's always shitting on himself, man. You know, he's still, done some great things.
But to finish off, if it was a good representation of homosexuality, yeah, I think Brad Pitt played a really good gay dude.
I don't even know what we're high-fiving about. What movie?
Wasn't that guy? Wasn't he the main character?
Did you say the main character?
No, just main character.
It sounded like you said the main character.
The guy who always says,
I'm
chasing Amy.
No, Brad Pitt wasn't in that.
Ben Affleck plays a great gay dude.
He wasn't gay.
Dude, he was gay.
Well,
he was gay for that dude with the
eyebrows.
eyebrows.
The whole movie was about what's his name? My name is Earl. Yeah, we both know who we're talking about. You see My Name is Earl, right? Brody. But the movie was more. I think it was less about him finding out like, oh, he's actually gay, him and Brody, but more about the confusion of not knowing or not understanding what it is to be gay and what it is to just be, you know what I'm saying? Because he might have just been such a bro with him that he was just jealous that he spent all this time with this girl, you know. But then he sees it at, oh, he's gay, you know. That's what he realizes, and maybe he is gay. He's not accepting of it of himself. He doesn't know idea. There's any direction you can go with it. You know what I'm saying?
And so
you can go any way with it.
And so that's the thing is, remember in Mallrats when the dude's looking at that picture and like, oh, it's a sailboat. It's a schooner, you retard. So that's the kind of thing is that it's one of those dot pictures where there's just enough where you can fill in the blanks. And if you can't fill in the blanks, then you won't. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's what I will say is that it's a good, like they're all gay and they're all written so you can fill in the blanks. Or they're all straight and you can fill in the blanks. Because the thing I liked about Amy was that she didn't know if she was straight or not, but she had so many traumatic events with straight males that it was just, she just turned it off to her. So, you know, Kevin left that open. You know, was she always gay? Is she forcing it? Is she somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, because then when she meets Ben Affleck, then they get together, and then she cares for him.
And she's happy, yeah.
Yeah.
And she even tells her lesbian friends, you know, I met a dude. And she's smiling about it, and they're all mad. But, like, the thing is like I said, is trauma does some fucked up shit to the brain. Trauma can turn your whole life upside down. Trauma can turn food into poop and poop into food. So, that's why I really liked her character. As far as the dudes go, I felt like they were more of the butt of the jokes.
They were a little more on the nose.
Yeah,
the way
the
way they handled the. So we're at.
I felt like they were never able to like be gay at the end.
Yeah, it was also left pretty open.
Like, no, I meant, like, if you watch the beginning of the movie, you know that they're not going to be gay for each other by the end of it.
Oh, okay.
The two dudes.
Okay.
But the girl, you're not
but
sure.
Her,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's that struggle with her.
So, like, even though Kevin Smith kind of pokes at it, like, with the gay black dude, like, nobody gives a fuck about me. And, like, he's not even in most of the movie.
Yeah.
Even though he pokes fun of it, it's still not enough. You gotta drain it. You gotta fucking live in it. You gotta be like, oh, this is gay dudes and nobody cares.
So we got about another, like, 20, 30 minutes or so. So I wanted to
wrap that up a little bit.
Yeah, well, last thing is, Loke Dog's on here from Don't Be a Menace.
Loke Dog?
Yeah, Loke Dog. That's what's his name.
Oh
Fucking,
yeah.
Is it just because he gets a BJ?
Does
that make him gay?
Yeah.
It's an interesting list, Wikipedia. Okay.
Well, that's just Wikipedia.
Real quick thing before we get into the fight, because that went pretty long. Objectum sexuality.
Objective sexuality?
Objectum, I believe.
What's that?
Objects.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that? I'm sure you know.
You mean like in Spanish?
No, I mean people
Oh,
feeling sexually attracted to an object.
In the Bible, that's okay.
Wow.
If you jerk off to a table, go for it.
Well, the reason I bring it up, we're talking about basically equal representation and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to go the other way around now. Mm-hmm. And I want to make that into a comedy short and just, I'm sorry, like, we all have our limits. For me personally, I'm like, all right, yo. I'm going to stop you there.
Oh, so the comedy is that you won't
put
somebody in.
I'm going to be honest, it's about making fun of it.
Okay.
Comedy makes fun of things. But for me, I'm not really with it, I'm pretty accepting of whatever you want to be.
Oh, so you reject those people?
No, well, that's the thing. Sorry, maybe I'm not being clear enough. It's not that, I don't care. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But to me, I just think it's funny.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I feel about it. But I don't think you should.
Tom Segura has a funny joke about that. He says, physical disabilities are not funny, but physical, not attractions, but obscurities are hilarious. And so definitely if you're sexually attracted to objects, that's not a disability. That doesn't make you unable to survive.
Well, there's something interesting because the reason I got this idea was Lily was watching this like documentary on YouTube about it, and like I would hear things that they would say, and I just started laughing.
Yeah,
But
dude, there's people who stick their dicks in their muffler.
well, yeah, there's this lady who was she would always, and they always change their mind too. They always get bored of objects. That's what's funny, and they're on to something else. This lady, was like in love with one thing, and then it was the Berlin Wall, and then she went to France, and she's like hugging the Eiffel Tower, and she's like in love with the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I bet that bitch in love with the Eiffel Tower. That shit go deep.
And then the lady asks, who's taping her, she's like, I mean, doesn't that feel weird, like embracing like cold steel and something, it's not like the warmth of the human being. She's like, no, I love it. And to me, boom, I saw Danny McBride. Like that was a joke. Like Danny McBride would tell in one of his movies. He'd be like, no, I totally like it, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm totally into it. I love it's cold, steely, whatever. Like I totally see it. And so that's why the idea came to me. And
I hate to be an asshole, but it just seems like something like that comes from trauma. Like it just doesn't seem like that.
That's what I was getting to. Is
you
that
wake up one morning.
That
ass and titties? No, thank you. Cold steel.
But this pillow.
Yeah.
But this bow and arrow. There's a lady with a bow. But
well, that's different because you could look at a bow and you could see a curve.
But she was still in love with it.
I mean, like
she was in love with it on a level that like it was a man, but except it's an object, and she would have sex with it.
I mean, it's a fine line, and we can see that that's kind of like on one side, but that's where if you're getting sexually aroused by like a soda bottle or a car, I can understand because that shit is made to look like a fucking tight ass woman. I'm not even kidding. Like, cars have curves. Cars got fucking butts. Cars have titties. Coca-Cola bottles have hips. You like grip that shit and stroke your wiener with it. It's weird.
Because cars are attractive to different people, and maybe you don't think of it that way. Like, oh, it turns me on, but it's like, oh, that car looks nice,
dude.
That car's sick. That car's so slick, and talking about sports cars and
or like. People could look at buildings and houses.
Cars being hunky.
They could look at structures and they'd be like, "That's turning me on." There's just something like.
And it might not actually be like, let me rub myself up against it.
No, not like that.
But there's something that's interesting. Yeah, I think you bring up a good point and that's on an unconscious level. Except for these people.
That just happened today. I was smoking with my girlfriend around those rich houses in the woods. And there's one house that's got all these weirdo curves.
Stuck your dick in a
I just
soda
stuck
bottle?
my dick in it. No, I put my dick in the hose faucet. No, but she was saying, she was like, I'm actually getting physically aroused from this house. It's just powerful. It just makes me feel like I need it.
I mean, she could have been joking.
Kind of, but it was getting to a point where it's past the joking.
Hope she listens to this.
Doubt
she
it.
Does it.
Doubt it.
Thanks for nothing, Sam.
Doubt it.
So, the one thing before we get into the fight now, we're getting to the fight right now. But they do mention that very briefly though. They talk about a lot of these people. They're like, we kind of they seem to test like what they could have Asperger's, or it could be trauma. It could be the trauma of like, well, this thing is not going to refuse me.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt me physically or mentally. And it's always going to be there for me until I get bored of it.
In the Piaget stages of like 1 to 6, if you get touch starved and you don't get that kind of physical touching that like all babies need, like as soon as a baby comes out of a womb,
True, it's just grabbing everything.
Even just the pussy lips is like a baby needs that. Because like the fluids, it actually builds its immune system.
Why can't you just say vagina?
Sorry, bro. I'm just saying that even all of that, baby needs all that. But, but like I was reading that the fluids like help the immune system. and that even when a mom is like breastfeeding a baby, then it's giving the baby some of her immune system, so then it can fend off disease better.
Well, you're talking about like touchy stimulation too.
Oh yeah, physical stimulation, heartbeat, big thing.
Oh yeah, wow.
So like they don't feel a heartbeat or they only feel their own heartbeat when they hug a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and warmth.
But there's something else there totally between an object and another living thing's embrace.
I mean, we would have to like look at their brain. We'd have to like cut them open and see what makes them tick. And I don't think they're that much different than us. It's most likely it's fear. It's some sort of weirdo fear. You look at Dahmer. You look at the Columbine kids.
Well, I'm glad you brought up serial killers because I noticed a lot of them were white.
Serial killers?
Well, that too. But these people that were being shown, and maybe it's just those happen to be the ones that were being represented in this documentary. But it's an interesting thing with a lot of these mass shooters and serial killers that are white as well. And I'm not trying to make any kind of point about it. It's just something that's out there. That's a fact. Like that's.
I've listened to a couple of people who studied them. So Jordan Peterson studied the Columbine kids, and what he said, and again, I'm an idiot. I'm doing him a terrible job of interpreting this. But what he said is basically the kids felt like there was a game to be played. Life is a system of games. So the kids felt like they were so far behind, they had so little chips, that they just wanted to flip the whole fucking board over.
Okay.
And that's exactly what they did. And we're still talking about it, so it worked.
Oh, this doesn't sound really out there. But I'm just going to say it. And I don't believe this, and just crossed my mind. I mean, if we're seeing, that it's generally whites, serial killers or with this kind of thing, just those kind of weird, certain subgroups, whether it's sexual or whatever. Do you think there's some kind of complex? You know what I'm saying? Like going way back to, sort of like superiority type.
Oh, yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but like looking at like white guilt now and all that.
You have a point. There is you look at somebody like Dahmer or Gacy, and there's definitely a superiority complex, maybe even a god complex, where they decide the fate of these weaker individuals. So there's definitely a little bit of that. A lot of the time, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was something like that, if there was a complex. But the difference between a complex and delusion is that a complex requires work. That is, as soon as they stop thinking this way, then they can break it. Inferiority complex. As soon as you stop thinking that you're the worst, you're not the worst anymore. But a delusion is just, it is.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, it's like your eyes.
You have no idea that that's wrong or not wrong, but
they're like the floaters in your eyeball. You can't tell anybody about them. I mean, you can, but they won't know what you're talking about.
Because only
They'll have
you see
no
it.
idea.
That's an interesting point.
So that's a very important thing to understand about closet homosexuals. Is a lot of them have a complex that they work on. It's usually not a delusion. It's it's usually not like, I'm fucking women and I don't like it. Why is this happening? I have no idea. Like that would be a delusion. But
okay, yeah.
I love fucking women. I love pussy. That's a complex.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
It's a very simple complex.
So
I love pussy because I'm straight. Because I love pussy because I'm straight. That's a very simple two-chamber complex.
So someone who's an objectum sexual, I hope I said that right. You're thinking that could be more delusional than.
Well, we look at a Weinstein, and I want to say that's a complex. Because not only did it get worse, but for the most part, it stopped. Because
what if those people, maybe they're not working that hard at it, just throwing it out there. Maybe they're not working.
The complex?
The objectum sexuals, object lovers.
Okay.
I was saying if that's delusional or complex, and I think you were saying they'd be more delusional. But what if the complex
could be a complex.
Is that
you were saying
they believe that people can't
I would say it would have to be based off of fear, like I said originally. So it's like,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
afraid of being hurt.
But do you think that could
Things can't hurt me.
Do you think that
I
went
love
together?
Things.
Oh, well, yeah, of course it's together. Because you're talking about, like, closet homosexuals who are like, oh, I love the pussy and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They're afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid.
They're afraid to come out. So it is very similar, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually fear. And so if we just figure out, if we can find out what these people are afraid of, those object lovers, and they face it, and then they go back to the fucking Berlin Wall and jerk off, then it's not a complex. That's just who they are. And we have to accept them and give them their tax
Or is
credit.
it delusion?
Well, if we can, if
like
they can't break it,
if they can't break it, then
if they can't break
delusional,
it,
right?
Well, if it's not a fear, if they're just, if they can break the fear and then break that shit, then wait, if they can break the fear and go to being normal, then it was a complex.
If they can't, it's a delusion.
Yeah. If they're like, you're right, cars are not sexy, and they go back home and jerk off to an automobile website, then that is a delusion. They are completely hypocritical.
Unless it's a lowrider magazine. Then they're like on the fence.
Yeah,
because you got the like nice ladies in front of the nice cars.
That's funny. But that's a good example. But yeah, if we teach them, look, you don't have to be afraid of everybody. You know, most people are assholes, but there are a couple of good ones in the world, and you want to put your genitals on those good ones.
Or maybe get those people together. Do you
think
that's a recipe for disaster?
Yeah. That just sounds like, we're here and we need rights. Oh, fuck, they're unionizing. God damn it.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, like, have them meet each other. Because they can relate to each other.
Will they? Will they just be like, God, what a bunch of weirdos? Ain't that right, Mr. Toaster?
There's also that. Look, I mean, I was totally aware that was still a possibility.
I don't talk to Craig. That dude fucks bricks.
I mean,
weird.
I mean, who smashes their dick with a brick? Some antichrist shit.
Now, do you have any broken glass? I'm
all
out.
Toilet paper roll?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Stick my dick in the socket.
Well, I think it's time for the Romegonz Ultimate Warrior Showdown.
I mean, but we only really talk about two people, a gay person and a
but that's going to be too
lover.
General if we're like a gay guy versus a objective sexual. That's way too broad. And
well, let me just
we're just
say
gonna
right
be throwing
now,
stereotypes out there.
So episode 10, I want it to be the ultimate showdown of season 1. We're going to take all the winners from the last 9 episodes.
Well, now, are we going to do a Royal Rumble, or are we going to have them, like, you know, these two fight, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, rounds.
We'll introduce them. We'll keep it just like WWE. We'll have 4 in a round. It'll just be 1 round.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, all at once.
No, but like every 60 seconds.
Someone comes in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, it's going to get complicated.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to, like, think about how... Also,
well,
we need to start writing these down. Do we know all the winners?
We'll just go back over them.
Yeah.
It won't be that difficult. They're all on YouTube.
So yeah, stay tuned. It's in 3 episodes.
So we talked about a couple of people. We talked about William Dafoe. We talked about
Dumbledore.
Okay, so gay Dumbledore. Specifically, in an alternate universe, extremely gay Dumbledore, who they just found out is straight. In the negative universe.
That they retconned
to be straight.
That's different.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
I like it. All right.
Like, imagine Dumbledore in booty shorts and sucking cocks and fucking...
See, but that's such a stereotype.
And on the parade and... No, but I'm saying, like, you know, write the straightest Dumbledore. Oh, he's old and he talks to Harry and he does magic. Okay, now write the gayest Dumbledore.
He's on fucks Harry.
Yeah, he's on the Oscar Mayer Wiener dog mobile. And then they're like, no, he's straight. But what about when he was blowing Harry? He was straight then and he's straight now. But what about when he climaxed in Snape's hair? Straight and narrow.
R.I.P. Alan Rickman. Alright.
But what about when Hermione was like, fuck me, Dumbledore, and he said pass? That was a straight pass.
He was just... Well, she was jailbait at the time.
Bitches want to fuck.
Jailbait.
Dude, I'm
Jailbait.
just trying to...
She was jailbait. Like, straight gay. He's like, I'm not getting involved with this. Let me see your wizard ID.
He's not a pedophile.
Oh, you mean a pedophile. So, okay, so...
Okay, so straight
retconned
Dumbledore. Yeah.
Straight retconned the gay Dumbledore. Versus
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, or should we get an objective sexual in there?
Yeah, the brick wall lady. Or the Berlin Wall lady.
Berlin Wall lady? Or the Eiffel Tower? Which one? Same difference?
Eiffel Tower's too easy. I mean, that's just... If you could just splat, you know. At least the Berlin Wall, it's a little bit of a hassle. You gotta move around it.
Well, the Berlin Wall, it's like, it's the opposite of that. You don't want to keep it intact, right? Because that's how you keep people out. That's how you separate. Because if it comes down, that's a celebration.
That's true. Okay, we'll get rid of the Eiffel Tower. Okay, so first round. Gay Dumbledore, straight Dumbledore versus Eiffel Tower lady. Gay Dumbledore has a floppy wand. It vibrates.
No, because he's straight. He was retconned.
Right, no, but he's still... Oh, he still
has his
yeah, it's still gay attire. His
gay wizard
booty shorts. Yeah, his rainbow beard.
Oh, so is he going to do the opposite where it's going to be like, oh, this guy's totally gay, and then he's going to pull that moment where he's like, he's straight.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's just like, and it totally throws off the other character.
Exactly.
They're like,
that's funny.
What?
I'm still just rolling over that like there's a gay Dumbledore and then like that motherfucker cis male. And it was like, are you sure? Like how everyone's acting now, like, yeah, okay, we'll accept it. Like, you're not gonna stick your finger at that. Nothing about that.
Yeah, because would that be wrong for someone to go? Yeah, we decided to retcon.
I mean, nowadays that was
straight.
In this universe.
people would hate it, but is it wrong?
Is it wrong? No, you can make a character any way you want. We said
right?
It's lazy. I mean, if you're gonna go through all this hard work of making a gay character,
either one could be lazy, right?
It just seems like you don't understand your character.
Yeah.
Like, why are you writing a character that's way too complex for you? You know, calm down.
Well, just to throw out, because in case any of our listeners comment and correct us, I welcome you to.
Yeah, please.
I do think that there's something, with the sequel and stuff, the fucking Johnny Depp's character, Grindelwald. Because when I was listening to the podcast, they kind of talked about it, and I guess there might have been, like, they were really close friends, him and Dumbledore, close to, like, being, I guess they were gay for each other. And that's where it comes into play. So I'll just throw that out there. But we don't know. I mean, I don't read the books. I haven't seen the movies.
I mean, somebody that I know is gay.
It's not out.
I don't even know if he's gay. It's George Takei. But I
George
just
Takei.
assume he's gay. I mean, I've never seen him butt fuck a dude, but I assume he's gay.
Wait, isn't he gay? And then everybody thought through association they made Sulu gay?
Well, yeah, that is interesting because
he talked about it recently. He was like, I never made him gay.
Yeah, no, Zulu.
I never played him gay.
And Takei felt of himself being straight while he played Zulu.
Yeah.
So that's not even fair to make Zulu gay because then you are criticizing Takei's performance at being an actor against his own biological self.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that Takei wasn't good enough of an actor to play a straight person. And you're criticizing one of the greatest actors that we know of theater and movie and TV and internet.
Yeah, man.
And you're saying that he can't play a straight dude? Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm with that. Because they made, I think they
did that. No, you're right.
New ones, right?
The new ones. They did that.
They made, what's his name? Fucking from Harold Kumar.
And I was the same way. I was like, I understand and I respect the artist decisions and everything.
And they're supposedly doing it out of respect for George Takei, but then he was just kind of like...
George Takei's like...
well,
If you really respected Takei's work, then you would have... I don't know, whatever.
But that's the thing. Maybe they're not at fault.
I mean, maybe
they're not totally at fault because they grew up.
If they respected Takei's work, then they would have put some shit about space internment camps. Because that's something that Takei really stands for, that he survived and he continues to talk about today.
But in the form of Star Trek.
Yeah, because that would show that you respect the man and what he stands for. And not only that, but the struggle that he survived through.
That is interesting. Well, I don't know if I would put that in with the new...
I wouldn't, yeah.
Sulu,
totally
because it's
place,
not...
But I'm just saying...
It doesn't really belong...
if they wanted to show respect...
It's a little too personal.
Respect his decisions, not who he was born as.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Gay Dumbledore retcons straight versus George Takei.
No, we didn't talk about Takei. We just brought him up right now.
Who else are we gonna... So we're still going to do the objective?
We can do the... Yeah, we have to.
Okay, but they're going to have multiple weapons because they get bored. I'm dude, watching that fucking thing, or listening to it, I was doing other things.
They get bored.
Dude, they would just be like... Then all of a sudden, like, they would switch around people. They'd go back to one person.
Okay, let's do...
They were in love with something else.
Let's do... Okay, so we have gay Dumbledore. Now, let's do straight...
That lady can have a bow.
Let's do straight other. So what's a character that was made gay that we appreciate, but in the opposite world is straight and they appreciate? We don't have to do that.
Wait, because Dumbledore was straight, they made gay, and we're doing it in a world opposite where he was gay and he was made straight. So that means we have to pick someone who is... Hold on.
Well, let's just not make that complicated.
Gay... Well, we don't know anyone that was gay that was made straight, so that means we have to turn a straight character gay.
A straight character gay. Seth Rogen's character in Pineapple Express.
Interesting. But we didn't talk about Seth Rogen. That's fine.
Okay, Seth Rogen's character in Pineapple Express was a great gay character. Okay, so now that we talked about him. No, but,
I vote.
No, but that's another example of that. Definitely Red and James Franco had something going on because they went to the strip club together. And they were really close. Huh? What?
Nothing. I'll tell you after.
Okay. But I'm just saying that... But you know what I mean? That they were really close. And Seth Rogen's character was kind of weird about them because they were so close.
I would argue that... Well, maybe it's just the James Franco thing. I was going to argue James Franco's character more so.
That he's gay?
But maybe it's because it's James Franco. Not that he's gay, but
yeah.
There's always the jokes about him being gay or bisexual or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
But maybe because the character's so like chilled out that I could see him more than likely.
Well, bisexual at least.
Compared to Seth Rogen's character.
Also, he's really close with his grandma. Being open. So that's kind of, that's a red flag for his buddy not being normal. And then he's close to that dude. He doesn't have a girlfriend or anything close to that. Never talks about it.
Let's do this. Okay, it's about that time. It's getting late.
Okay.
Wrap it up. So which one? Saul or...
I want to go with gay Sulu.
Okay.
Versus straight Dumbledore.
See, that's what I'm saying. Well, what if you do a Sulu who's ambiguously, not ambiguous, but because of that whole situation where George Takei is playing him and he's gay, but Sulu's not gay, but we made him to be gay.
So the new...
In our minds.
The new Zulu.
No.
Oh.
The old one.
The old Zulu.
Yeah.
But...
Because that, like I said, that whole perception that, he was gay because George Takei was
remember
gay.
I was telling you is kind of the knowledge, the burden of knowledge, that now that we know Takei was gay the whole time, now we can just put that onto his character.
That's what I'm saying. And that might be disadvantage for our now straight Dumbledore.
So Dumbledore's...
Thinking that he's gay or thinking that he's straight, I don't know.
Okay, so Dumbledore, he looks totally gay, but now he's straight and he's always been straight. He's just confused about what he's wearing. And so straight Takei, gay Takei.
So regular Takei.
Regular Takei.
Okay.
He's going to be in his...
Star Trek.
Yeah, he's going to be set. He's going to be fine. He's going to be ready to fight.
So
and he has his space training. He has the blaster. Have real weapons?
Okay.
He has the stun gun.
What would be more fair? I mean, you got fucking wizard.
Yeah, he has a wizard. So in a neutral ground of the time stasis chamber, we have Dumbledore, who is the ultimate magician, save Johnny Depp, and we have Sulu, who is an okay Starfleet engineer. I mean, it's obvious that straight Dumbledore is going to take him to town.
Does he win all of them?
Well, let's go on to next level. We have Takei in space. Dumbledore, I don't think wizards fuck with space. They basically just stay on Earth.
That's interesting. We haven't seen it, and maybe we should.
Space magic?
Star Wars.
Let us...
Star Wars is the closest thing.
That's true. Let's please write a child-friendly space magic story.
That could be fun.
I just want to do it, and I want to see if we can make it good.
Well, now I'm thinking about ways to make it not Star Wars. That's pretty much the only direction you can go in.
Oh, no, there's plenty of directions. I mean...
well, I mean, as a big general, like, here's Star Wars, here's everything else.
Well, a good example is Diokots brings up the fucking space shooting, that it's completely retarded, that you wouldn't line up your spaceships because there aren't any lines in space.
Oh, right.
In space, you would just have like these flying orbs because you could get lasered from any direction.
But that stuff could be possible with magic. So...
The fleet thing?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, it's magic. Magic can be anything, right? You can be anything you make it to be. Because it's not real.
Do you believe in magic?
We brought this back to Disney, huh? So who's gonna?
From what I know, your magic is just being able to do what you will.
Okay.
So I don't know who would will to have fucking fleet battles, but anyways, Takei in space, he would totally destroy straight Dumbledore, because Dumbledore would be like, "Ooh, airlock, what is that?"
But can he use his magic to like create a bubble to
Don't
like
you
protect
dare.
himself from space?
Don't you dare bring up that fucking
What?
Princess Leia bullshit.
I wasn't even thinking about that. But there you go. Okay. Magic. Who says magic has limitations based on?
I do.
Being on the planet Earth or being in space.
I say magic is only what you will, and I.
Okay, then he can will it.
You can will so you can will matter.
If you're a magical fucking being, yes, you can.
So we have somebody whose will is so strong that they can appear matter in front of them, disintegrate matter behind them, travel in space-time with zero propulsion, and survive with little to no injury.
I don't think that's fair. I think they do.
Because at that point, why is there a rebellion?
Think about it. Okay, I'm not even talking about Star
Will
Wars.
the rebellion out?
I'm not talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about Dumbledore.
At that
They
point.
do a lot of crazy shit.
They do a lot of crazy shit.
You tell me that he can't fucking float around in space?
Now, this comes from the queen of... This comes from the queen of Hogwarts herself. Because somebody asked in Mythical Beasts, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you and everyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts. There's a point in the movie where we're like, hey, he can teleport anywhere, right? So why doesn't he just teleport across the ocean back to Europe? And then the queen, J.K. Rowling, said in a tweet, he could, but it's really difficult and very dangerous, and he wouldn't want to fuck it up and end up 12 feet in mud.
So we'll give him a 50-50 chance of surviving in space.
Okay, so 50-50 that he survives in space and goes back. Well, even so, we're no longer in the Milky Way. This is the edge. They're explorers.
So you're saying he would have no idea without... Right, because if you're going to teleport somewhere, you'd have to know where you're going, right? I'm thinking more of Nightcrawler or X-Men, but, same thing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you'd be right that he would be totally out of his depth, so he wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Where
Zulu's realm is so far beyond straight Dumbledore's.
So now does he easily wipe him out?
No, we're going to Hogwarts. Now, since Zulu and the Starfleet, Zulu should have prior knowledge of Hogwarts.
Okay.
And he should be able to scan the life forms, and I don't think it'd be anything they haven't seen before.
So is it possible he could develop weapons to combat,
develop some sort of counter
like magic
strategy.
dampeners or something.
Sure, or like focus the photons to wherever the magic source is, or or
Shit.
like
I'm starting to pull for Sulu.
or Zulu could ask Scotty to beam up the fucking magic wand. Then the dude has no magic wand.
Damn.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter, is it that like can you not do anything without a wand?
The wand basically it kind of like centers
Channels.
Yeah. So try
So
playing
you could,
tennis
but it wouldn't be as.
Try
focused.
playing baseball without a bat.
That's a pretty harsh comparison.
Yeah, but if you're but you've seen that. You've seen baseball players where they're just like crack and they'll palm it. It's like, wow, owie. But like it's just who they are. They can do it. They're fucking masters at their craft. They're baseball players. So we have
Okay.
We have Zulu.
Well, damn, I'm leaning towards Zulu, man.
So he's going to transport.
He's gonna
transport straight into
Scotty beam up my wand or his wand.
Yeah, he's got Scotty on.
Now, does he have the whole? If he has Scotty's backup, does Dumbledore have?
Yeah,
all
I was just
Hogwarts?
about to say that. Let's say Dumbledore has. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the whole fucking magic place. Zulu's really gonna have to. Well, Zulu wouldn't fight. Why is Zulu fighting Dumbledore? We didn't really figure that out in the first place.
Maybe Dumbledore attack him? Would he be defending the school? Would he believe that he's an agent of the name that we shall not speak?
Voldemort?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's interesting. No, because Harold and Johnny Depp have never worked together, so we can't say that they've ever.
Johnny Depp.
Because he plays Voldemort,
Doesn't?
Well, he plays the guy who's
Grindelwald?
Yeah, Grindelwald.
Well, Voldemort's what's his name refines. But if we're talking Voldemort, then it could be something never seen before. He's like, who is this invader?
Mm-hmm. Well,
because also in the normal world, what are they called? The Muggles.
Yeah.
They've never seen anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're nowhere near that. They're not anywhere near Star Trek. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I didn't like about Mythical Beasts is they used the Men in Black memory eraser thingy. I was like, dude.
They have one?
Yeah. I was like, dude, get your own ideas.
Is that how... Oh, so once he collects them all, is that how he wipes people's...
Yeah, he puts the memory eraser on the Statue of Liberty or some shit. Or some shit like that. And then
he doesn't use a wand to do it?
It's some sort of memory eraser thingy. Well, but it's the same concept. It's not the same technology.
Fuck. Okay, so who would take it? So Hogwarts.
But we didn't find out why they're fighting.
Well, Star Trek, old school Star Trek, they were adventurers.
Yeah,
they're always going to new places. And so we know that he knows all about these guys. He knows all about Dumbledore.
So we'll just say Zulu's the invader.
Yeah, that's what
he's. Oh, thanks, dude.
And I would see it as Dumbledore would see it automatically as a threat. That's how he would feel that he was.
Especially a straight Dumbledore because of toxic masculinity.
Okay, okay. We'll see now. That's important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Attaboy.
Mm-hmm. Toxic masculinity.
Like
okay,
that.
so that's the. So.
Well, I mean, he's got a school full of children too, man. You got to protect the kids, but the kids are also helping him.
So Zulu's in Hogwarts. He's screaming at Scotty, "Beam me up!"
But maybe
I'm giving
not.
It all she's
maybe
got.
not give him Harry and those kids because then they'll just fuck.
Well, because Zulu's not going after the kids. Zulu's going after. Really, it's just Zulu's trying to escape. If Zulu can escape, then there's a tie. But
if he was going to beam up his wand, he can just beam himself up instead.
Yeah, but Zulu.
So I think he still has to incapacitate him.
I don't think Zulu can get out of the castle because it's a magic castle. So how is he going to get beamed
Even
up?
if he incapacitated him?
Yeah.
Do you think he would let him out, or do you think he would still be trapped? That's important to know.
Do the Star Trek phasers have like a blast function?
But see, when you're dealing with magic, it wouldn't really matter about just trying to blast through a wall. That's not really how that world works, you know?
I think what would happen is Dumbledore would will Zulu to no longer be a threat.
So it'd be stalemate. Would that count as a win?
Technically, Dumbledore wins.
Because he overcame the conflict?
Yeah.
Because he... So now, let's say that Dumbledore took it, I don't even know how you would do this on neutral ground.
Well, we already did the neutral ground. It's just Dumbledore would take it.
So Dumbledore takes the whole thing?
I mean, because if we put Zulu versus Dumbledore in the time stasis chamber, again, you know...
Are you talking about Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Dumbledore just has to freeze him in place or melt his brain.
Okay.
Zulu has the advantage of space travel, and that's completely out of the realm of Dumbledore as far as we know. But Dumbledore's magic power is, and especially being a cis white male, you know, being the most powerful being on the planet. So powerful.
Complex.
So powerful that they get every job, every wage, every good position, and the monthly white man check.
And Zulu has been made, through association of being portrayed by George Takei, has been made gay.
Essentially.
He's Asian.
And he's Asian. So, at this point, like I said, Zulu, when it's in space, Zulu has the advantage, but that's the only time. Any other time outside of that, even without a wand, Dumbledore will just put him in stasis right then and there.
I was pulling for Zulu, but he makes some good points.
Yeah. He's just too powerful of a opponent, Dumbledore, especially straight Dumbledore. We needed to give Zulu something more. But we just didn't have any opponent for straight Dumbledore. That's just the most powerful. I mean, that might even be the contender for the showdown.
Shit.
We're going to have to figure out how to hobble him. Because we hobbled the last guy. We gave him a walkie-talkie with Joe Pesci. It was the two kids.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. So
versus Riff Raff.
Yeah, so we gave Macaulay Culkin handicap by making so he had one arm specifically on a cell phone.
You still won that, didn't you?
So we'll have to think about how we're going to handicap straight Dumbledore, because that's way too powerful.
For this week's episode, then it goes to
straight Dumbledore.
Gay Dumbledore retconned into straight Dumbledore.
Yes.
He takes the cake this time. Well, this has been the Romegonz Podcast, episode 7. This is Mark Westwood Gonzalez. You can find me at Westwood _films _94 on Instagram. Westwood Films on YouTube. Look for the gorilla in the cowboy hat. Check out Join the Gang.
Join the Gang. Very important. Coming out tomorrow, Friday, February 9th.
Kind of topical, too. It's kind of topical to some of the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, very topical. You're gonna want to buy the merch. Too bad.
Where can they find you? Roto Ricky?
Yeah, Roto Ricky on Instagram. Look for breakfast. Look for food. Pictures of food.
All right.
Look for breakfast.
Peace.
Peace out.